There is power in personal stories. It connects us, it empowers us, and it holds us accountable. It creates understanding and expands our perspective. This is Big in the Community with Jonathan James at the Kalamazoo Promise, a podcast aimed to highlight local leaders, collaborators, and innovators in the greater Kalamazoo community. All right, we are back once again. I am not going to say what episode number it is because I'm probably not getting them right when I do this. But anyway, we're going to kick things off with a quote read by our guest.
So in the famous words of Nick Saban, I can't be the only person that cares.
That's good stuff. I mean, I had to have you kick it off with that deep voice. It was just commanding, like it felt right.
Appreciate that.
But anyway, our guest today, Carlos Clay Jr.
Yeah.
Associate Program Team Lead at Greenleaf Trust.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So why don't you, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing right now?
Yeah. So like you said, I work at Greenleaf Trust. We're a finance firm. The field of finance not personally, but just in my role, I deal with the scholarship at Western. So we have Greenleaf Trust has a scholarship at Western that is offered to finance students in the fields of accounting, personal finance, and finance, $12,400 per semester. So in the target audience for that is for students of color and to help promote diversity within the work field of finance. So
nice. That's good work that you're doing. How long have you been doing this?
2 years. Actually, I'm coming up on my second birthday right now for the company. Yep. So,
happy birthday.
Yeah. July. I know somebody else got a July birthday around here. So.
Okay. Shout outs to the producer.
Yeah.
We're down a producer. Shout outs to her. She gonna edit all this. But anyway.
She gonna have some fun.
Right. And how long have you been in Kalamazoo?
So originally, this is going to be a fun story. So we'll bounce around just a little bit. So originally I'm from Kalamazoo. I'm from the east side, born and raised, Borges. And then I moved to Muskegon, moved back to Kalamazoo, moved to Grand Rapids, and then moved back to Kalamazoo. So I went to Kalamazoo Central, played on the basketball team. Shouts out to the Giants, class of 09. We never lost a basketball game.
Okay. Talk about it.
But yeah.
Cool.
Had a lot of fun.
Okay. So how in your current role, how do you engage with the Kalamazoo community?
Man, so that's one of the biggest things I love doing, being from here, seeing the faces. And then I worked at Phoenix High School too. So that put me at like a whole nother advantage just from knowing people here, right? So being connected to the school district, being in the school district. So right now, another one of the programs that I oversee and coordinate is called the Wealth Developer Program. So you can see it on the sweatshirt. We're going to get y'all some merch.
You got the swag.
We're going to get y'all some merch.
All right.
So for the Wealth Development Program, so hold on, let me back up just a little bit. So with the scholarship that I oversee and coordinate, there were years where there wasn't enough people to fill the places. And so, the amazing minds at Greenleaf said, okay, hey, we're trying to get these kids from college, but we need to start earlier because there's no awareness of the field of finance by the time they get to college. Boom. All right. So about 2 years ago, the Wealth Development Program was drafted up by the man of Jim Gray. So Jim Gray is the CSO at Greenleaf. Real cool. That's my guy right there. So Jim's from Southern Indiana, so he talk with a twang. So hopefully when he hear this, he gonna laugh and giggle about this one. But so for the Wealth Development Program is to teach financial literacy to high school students of color, with hopes to promote a pipeline and to kind of just open that awareness that you can go into finance, and there needs to be people that look like me and you in finance. But right now we are teaching financial literacy. We run through basically the school year. So we start in September and in May have a graduation, and one of the most amazing parts about it is that we have industry leaders teaching these subjects, right? And like we host a session every second Saturday of the month. We've hosted out at Phoenix High School, and then we've now just we've actually done a session here at the K Promise building, which was dope. And then we're now hosting sessions out of Greenleaf, right across from Bronson Park. And so we, if a student comes to all of our sessions, then they receive $500. You have the option to receive $500 in a trading account. So not only do you get the money at the end, but if we give you this, we give you the skills to use that money as a platform to build on top of that your investing career. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, we having fun.
So if I'm a parent and I got like let's say a 11th grader, and they're interested in business, or they don't know where to start or how they want to go into that, how would I get them involved with you guys? How would I sign them up? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, so right now we're in the school districts, but we also do a lot of community events. So, I bumped into you guys during the summer, the Black Arts Festival especially. So we got a lot of parents, a lot of contact from there, but reach out to us. Our contact information is on the website. We have a virtual brochure out there. We don't have a limit to how many kids we can take right now. So it's amazing that, it's not, there's no space, there's no limited space that we can't cut any kids off from learning. But basically, our contact information is right on the website. Reach out to us, myself, and then Alexia Gomez. She's a co-coordinator of the program. She deals with a lot of the day-to-day tasks about the program. But yeah.
Very cool. I'm pulling up your website right now.
Yeah,
just greenleaftrust.com.
Yeah.
Okay. No, very cool. How would you say you collaborate with with us or other organizations?
So we realize that mentorship and relationships are everything, right? So with that being said, is, hey, Jonathan, I know you're connected with some kids, bring them through, because we're going to feed them one, and then we're going to give them a lot of knowledge. So really, with the community is banking on those relationships and the connections that they have with the kids. We invite parents to come out too, because a lot of the information that we're having, we're talking about retirement planning, we're talking about budgeting, we're talking about asset allocation. A lot of that stuff is just not talked about within our community, and we just don't have enough exposure to it. And then there's a level of accountability when you invite the parents out. So if you have your 11th grader, those conversations, that table talk is different, right? Now y'all sitting down talking about, well, he talking, so Dad, what's your portfolio looking like? You know what I'm saying? Like exactly, right? Now you like, man, let me go ahead and put my portfolio together, because now he asking about it. Now we can have real conversations about building wealth. You know what I mean? So
that's very awesome. So enough about the work stuff. You talked a little bit about like being in Kalamazoo, moving out, coming back, moving out, coming back. But what's your story, and who are you?
Oh man, that's an amazing question. So,
feel free to go back as far as you want, or start wherever you want. Skip over things if you want to.
Okay, yeah. So hopefully my mama hear this, because she gonna be proud of me. No, my dad too. Shouts out to my parents. They're some of the dopest beings on this planet that have supported me through my journey. Even just the men and the women that I've met along my journey. So I would say I'm an adaptable person, but principles matter. So growing up here in Kalamazoo on the east side, I used to go play ball at the Rockwell Park. Shouts out to everybody. I don't even think Rockwell has a hoop anymore, and that was crazy when I seen that. Just, you know what I'm saying, a little ball-headed little kid up there just trying to play basketball, right? Making friends up there. Ended up moving up to Muskegon. Didn't really play ball up there. Just, was introduced to different sports, track and football, and then ended up coming back to Kalamazoo. So that was freshman year. Summer freshman year, and then
for high school,
for high school, yeah,
okay.
yeah. Sorry,
No, you're good. I just asked because I want to know.
Oh, okay,
and for other people too.
Yeah. So freshman year of high school, came back, became a Kalamazoo Central Giant.
Go Giants.
Yeah, shouts out to
the room is full of them.
It's real big in here. So I think, like, when I think about my story, I think about freshman year in high school, like how much of a defining moment in like any person's history, especially, I bounced around a little bit. I played basketball and ended up actually making a basketball team here in Kalamazoo. So that was big for me because, I played out at, Reese Puffer and Muskegon, and, I'm like, oh, that's Reese Puffer. This is Kalamazoo. This is home. Like, it hit a little different.
Right.
And I remember not being in any trouble or anything like that. And John pulled me aside. He was like, man, you got like a 3.5. Like, why are you not more confident? And so it made me realize, like, wow, like having good grades and being confident, that's something you can stand on. That's business, right? And it made me take pride in the fact that I was smart. And then my peers around me at Kalamazoo Central, they wouldn't tease me because I was smart. They was like, hey, bro, can you help me out with this? So we built a lot of connections, a lot of brotherhood out there. Sadly, I ended up transferring out and I ended up moving to Grand Rapids. But one thing that I always remembered from Kalamazoo Central was just having pride, right? That K Central pride. I don't even know if the gym still has it, but that big old giant that used to be in the gym, or when you used to say like world class at the top, like, yo, that was pride. So anytime I left after that, where they be like, where are you from? I'm from Kalamazoo, I'm from the east side, right across East Main, Waverly, Trimble area. Okay. You know what I mean? So my story started there, really just in high school, having that pride everywhere else I went. I carried that on my shoulders. I carried that as like a badge of honor. And moving up to Grand Rapids, and got really interested in track and field. And I broke some records up there. I broke so many records that I ended up breaking my own record a few times.
Okay.
So I had an opportunity to go to college, play run track at the collegiate level, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do in college. So I'm trying to think. I want to expedite some of this story, but still get the good. We got time. Still get the good stuff. So after high school, I didn't end up. Okay, I'm gonna be honest on the mic. So I got like screwed over, to be honest, right? So my grades weren't as good out of high school, and so I talked to some university coaches, and they were like, "Yeah, go to the JUCO and then transfer up. We'll keep your scholarship open for you." So I went to GRCC, and then I tried to transfer to this unnamed university for this track scholarship.
Okay.
And the scholarship no longer existed. And so I'm thinking like, dang, what am I going to do? Right. And so I was like, well, if I can't run there, I'm going to go back home because I know Western had like a track club. Probably not the best thing I should have did because I was leaving the structure that I had up there. And that's so big, especially as a graduate. You need structure because you need, that planning and everything has to be in place for you to succeed. In certain instances, we all know people who broke the mold. But so I came back to Kalamazoo, started working down here. Never ran track, and that was just like something I gave up. But it also established a work ethic and everything else I did because I wanted to be the best. Moved out to Arizona. This is after high school. Moved out to Arizona. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go run track at ASU. So that didn't work out either. I was taking L's like left and right, but I was built for it, right? So I was like, okay, cool. And so Phoenix, Arizona was beautiful. I met some beautiful people, some lifetime friends, but also the fact that, there is a level of work that is expected everywhere you go, right? So come back to Kalamazoo, started working at Phoenix High School. I'm like, yo, I'm like a few years older than these kids. Like, yo, what am I doing? But then I noticed, like, those relationships, I never had a black teacher. And so that was part of my story. That was another part of my story where I started realizing, like, wow, I never had a black male teacher. I want to be that. I want to be influential. I had all these other white, teachers. I had all these other teachers that were amazing, right? But I didn't have anybody that I could personally, like, say, hey, man, I'm really dealing with this, and I don't know how. a lot of male figures in my life, but I never had a black teacher.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I decided I was going to go into education.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working at Phoenix High School. And then I started going to Western full time. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm going to Western and as I'm working, I noticed that teaching ain't what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, well, maybe it's mentorship. Maybe I just, I just want to be involved. And so I started in athletics because I just had to get out of the classroom. I was like, oh, yeah, I can't do this. I can't do this. But no love. Shouts out to every teacher out there. A lot of people don't understand the work and the time and the effort that goes into teaching. So shouts out to every educator that listens to this. Went into athletics. Athletics was tough just because there's not a lot of young ADs out there, athletic directors. And so being in a space where you feel ostracized, you're like, man, I got to find a lane around here somewhere for me, right? But it also taught me too that, okay, that level of work that's expected, yeah, you got to show up. You got to be the best. Cool. COVID hit. I'm like, school shut down. So we went from 2014 to 2019. I had probably like a few years prior, I started doing some research just on investing. I'm like, you know what? There's got to be more ways to make money than to working for somebody else, right? So this is like 2018. I just started doing some research on investing and I got lost in it. It was like the numbers. It was like there's a whole section, a whole career where you can really focus in on not like helping people, but not directly dealing with them in a way, right? To making sure they set up. And so finance just like kind of became a thing for me where I'm like, yo, I could teach this. I could like get really good at this and I could teach this, but also like I want to really be good and lead by example. And so when COVID hit, school shut down, I realized teaching ain't really what I wanted to do. I'm like, all right, I opened my own investment company. And so with this investment company, I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to get good at investing and I'm going to go back and I'm going to teach my people. So the whole goal of my investment company was to help black folks buy houses so we can retain wealth in our community. And then I was like, all right, my investment company was doing well. And then I was like, okay, well, I have all this extra time. I want to give back because I still want to be connected to my community and still want to give back. But I'm so far removed because I'm really in my own world working, but I love it. I'm engulfed in it. I'm loving it. And so I started volunteering at Phoenix High School just to mentor. And then the Wealth Developer Program came along. And they were like, well, hey, if you want to be an advisor, we'll lean on you to make the relationship with the kids to make sure they can get to the program. Cool. I think I had like 4 or 5 kids. And so I was checking in with them. I would come up to the school 3 times a week just to chat with them. Hey, what you think about this? How's this going? Do you need help? But a lot of times it's never about the work. Like high school students need somebody they can talk to. And I think people in general just need somebody they can talk to. So I think I was just that person for them. And they trusted me because I was from where they was from. I understood, that plight that, well, I don't know what I'm finna do. I got so many options and there's a lot of exposure to things that I don't know. And so I'm like, hey, you got options, especially look at this program. Because this is saying that you can work for a multi-billion-dollar company. You can see yourself in this space. And that's important that we have people like that in our lives that say, hey, sky's the limit. Step on that limit and then go higher. And so in a nutshell, I did so well with the kids and working in tandem with Greenleaf that they were like, hey, let's bring you on. And so then I was brought on and I was made the team lead of the 2 programs, the Wealth Developer Program and the Scholarship Internship Program at Greenleaf.
That's awesome.
Man,
the story, like there was so much in there.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Like the not knowing what to do, trying to figure it out, but like while you're doing it too, which is a tough thing. Like I feel like when I was in school, I was just like, oh, I'm just sticking with what I got because I want to get it over with as quickly as possible. But lots of people are kind of like undecided, or you go in like, this is what I'm going to do. And then it's like, well, maybe not. And then I'm going to go try this out. And eventually you find what you want to do. But then to go back and say there's other kids that I could help navigate through that faster than I did.
That's pressure. Like we have to give back. We have to reach back. That's like our responsibility, I feel like. So no matter how big I get or how far I go, I got to be able to say, all right, bet, come on. I got to, you know, but also part of that is figuring out like who's willing to do the work to come along. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's that natural separation, but we have to. I think that's one of those that's pride one, but it's also it's standing on business. We have to give back. It is our responsibility, especially as Black men, to make sure that we mentor, to make sure we give back, to make sure we teach, because somebody else did the same for me, and somebody else did the same for you. Right. So I'm like, why would we not do that?
It's easy to like to say to do it. It's another thing to do it. There is a level of responsibility that comes with it, because you're in this role where you have more power than you think you do.
Big time. Hey, I literally had that wake up call today, bro. Like that was crazy. So, you know, we were in here just talking about, you know, like our week, how it's been going. And I'm like, yo, off my last week was wild. I had like 3 meetings in one day. I'm hosting, I'm doing parties. And I'm like, yo, I'm a leader. Like people are looking to me for answers. And I'm the youngest person in the room. How, Sway?
Right.
How?
Because everybody can lead.
Everybody can lead.
That's one of the things I've been learning recently is it's not the title, it's not the age, are you capable and are you willing to help those around you?
Big time.
Whatever way that is, it can be, you know, like you know these things, you can contribute this stuff, or you're the person who can catch all the little details that's missed or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you've been through it before where there's that experience piece. So like everybody is capable of leading, and it's just at what point, what season are you in? When is it going to happen? But you clearly are ready. Start doing it.
You funny. I'm trying, bro. I'm just trying. I'm trying to do the best I can.
Hey, it's fine. I recommended somebody to reach out to you for mentorship today. So
appreciate that.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Yep. This is me letting you know, by the way.
On the back end. Like, hey, yeah, so answer this number. Right. I don't answer my phone. Not on purpose, so I'll just be busy. But it's all love. But yeah, shoot me a text with his name, and so I'll be able to.
I got you. But yeah, sorry that was funny to me.
It's all good. It's like my phone over here ringing. Like, who is this number? He's like, yeah, that's actually them.
Yeah, that's you need to respond to that. My bad. So I know you touched on it a little bit, but what motivated you to get to where you are now?
So to be honest, my motivation was I didn't want to work for nobody. I was big on collaboration, and that was my thing. I was like, I don't want to work for nobody. I'm autonomy, independence. But then also one thing that I'm realizing in this space now is like, okay, yeah, you could be independent, and that's cool. And you can, you know what I'm saying, you can have your autonomy, and that's cool. But is the goal getting done? Is the goal getting met? Because I could do this on my own. I can make money. I could be good here. Or I could partner with someone and I can have a bigger impact and still make money too. So like you got to pick and choose. But one of my biggest things is really just to, you know, to have that freedom, right? So I can come to a podcast and really pop what I want to pop and not have the restrictions of saying, oh, you can't say that. Well, why not? If it's part of my story, I should be able to say it because it's important.
Right.
So don't censor.
People need to hear it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the biggest thing. And plus, like when people hear these things, it's like, oh, there was somebody who had to go through these things. Maybe I could do that too.
Oh yeah, big time.
Or just seeing somebody who doesn't look like the typical person in finance or business, and seeing that, like, oh, there's some brown people in there, some black people in there. There's some, there's women in there. Like literally, like every single group, race, gender, orientation, whatever.
Yes.
There's seeing people who are different, even if it's not the same differences, you can have an impact. Because you can see somebody be like, oh, it's not just all white men in this space. No. It's, like I could actually be in this space.
Yeah, brown with neck tattoos and everything, bro. Like, nah, like if you could do the work, if you can get it done, and everybody brings something to the table. Everybody brings something to the table. And that's also what I'm learning too, is even when you get inside that niche, right? They're so different, even within that niche, that we don't even see on the outside, which is beautiful now, because now you're exposed to so much and you learn so much just by showing up. That's half the battle.
Yeah. So it's some deep conversation we're having here. It's good stuff. If you could do anything to transform Kalamazoo, what would it be? And money's not an option. Like, money doesn't matter. Politics doesn't matter. It's just, if you could just make it snap your fingers like Thanos and just make it happen, what would it be?
Man,
it's a big question.
That is not a small question. On a sunny day when it's like 70 in Kalamazoo, February,
yeah, pure Michigan.
Yeah, love it. Man, I would think it would have to be something related to having groups of people meet frequently, like a meeting space. Kalamazoo's growing, right? But we also are still segregated to a point. You know what I mean? So like, I think just having a place where people can meet and it be like a cohesive collaboration where, it's really, I think it's really being built. It's the event center downtown. I ain't gonna lie to you, because now it's like, okay, we can actually do stuff here and celebrate on a large scale, because again, we're halfway between Detroit and halfway between Detroit and Chicago. Like, we should have big things here that people can say, oh yeah, I'm going to Kalamazoo for. Like, whether it's concerts, whether it's music festivals. I was speaking about it a couple days ago, or it was last week. Like, I remember the Black Arts Festival back in like 2006 used to slap. Like, the whole city was out here, and it was crazy, because you was like, oh, I didn't even know Kalamazoo was this big. It probably wasn't that big at the same time. It was probably people coming in, because we had like vendors from everywhere. You could find anything at the Black Arts Festival, and you were meeting people, and it was all love. You know what I mean? Like, we had a good time. Music was always good. I know they bring in artists now. I mean, no shade to that, but it's like, okay, yeah. Let's bring that back. So something like something to do with like the frequency of meeting with people again, just like the event center. So
yeah, so build up the community, have a place for the community to meet.
Exactly.
And then what would you talk about though? Like, what would you want to?
Oh man, kill me with these questions.
I'm sorry. I'm curious. Yeah, yeah. Like, well, what would you do?
Yeah, for real. I think like definitely festivals.
Tell me more.
You got a script, don't you?
No, this is straight off the top with it.
Yeah. It's like magic right there, brother. Festivals. Definitely do some festivals, workshops, like expos, concerts, especially concerts. Music is big. Just like events that gather people. Even like cooking shows. I'm trying to think.
Like, is it cake?
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's host something here where people are like, oh yeah, that was that in downtown Kalamazoo.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like we can all go to Atlanta and be like, oh, I seen that on this TV show. We can go to New York. I seen that on this TV show. But I mean, yeah, there is a TV show called Kalamazoo, but I don't think they shot anything around here. Like stuff that would, you know what I'm saying, bring us here. I mean, this bike lane is very interesting. So, I mean, but I also think that's part of the mobility process of building up Kalamazoo, right? Like we want people down here riding bikes, riding scooters. Like, yeah, Grand Rapids has something similar. They got their own bridge that people ride bikes across and everything. I think that's beautiful. Yeah, and we need to clean up that river over here, like because that could be like a nice piece. I went to or used to go to. I haven't been there in a while, but Indianapolis, Naptown has a beautiful river that slides through the whole city, and they built a walkway. They built hotels right there, and it's like you could look out your hotel and see this nice like river. You know, it's like
I don't know if ours has enough water in it for all that.
Well, they didn't figure that out. They didn't figure that out and clean it up too because it stank. I'm from the east side. And the river stank.
Oh man, no, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, let's go to the next question. What are your favorite things about Kalamazoo?
Oh man,
I mean, you said some of it, but
yeah. I think one of my favorite things about Kalamazoo is the people. Honestly, anytime you go anywhere else and you see somebody from Kalamazoo, it's like this instant bond. Especially, I remember I was in Chicago and I forgot what I was doing, but I seen somebody else from Kalamazoo. It was like, cousin. It's like we live in a city where you can get to anywhere in 15 minutes, but to see them outside of there was amazing. And then like going to other cities, like when I was in Phoenix and I would tell somebody I'm from Kalamazoo, they'd be like, oh yeah, how far is that from Flint? I'm like, nah, we like West Michigan. And it's like people treat you different because they've never heard of it. And so it's like we do have our own culture here, and that's one thing I love, and we embrace, like we have our own style here. It piggybacks off of other places, but we have our own style here. And I love the opportunity for growth here. Like I still feel like Kalamazoo's young, like, and then not being the generation of being in school, have graduated, and now am a working professional. Like you see, there's a lot of things that we can do to really connect with each other. Like I love the fact that Dabney and Company's here. That's so dope. Like that is a nice spot to go to. On top of the fact of the history of it, right? So we have so much to build on here. So I think those are probably just a few of my favorite things about Kalamazoo.
Nice. We just went up there too. The day before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When they were playing Usher all night.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah. It was cool. It was cool. I like the atmosphere in there. It's very there. It just feels classy.
You know what I mean? Upscale. Right.
So you were in Kalamazoo, but did you get the promise?
Oh man.
That's a story.
That's a fair question. That's a fair question. So no, I didn't get the promise.
Okay.
So when I started high school, the promise had just started in 2006. I remember being in biology class and like, everybody was like, wait, what? Like this was crazy. And then my teacher at the time, he was like, well, he was speechless too. And that was like a big reason I wanted to stay in Kalamazoo after that. Cause I was just like, yo, I can get my college paid for. I don't even know where I'm going to go, but I'm going to go somewhere because it's something I ain't got to worry about, which is a blessing. And just the economic value it added to the city. I remember the next year, it was like so many people that came to Kalamazoo after that because they were like, well, shoot, we might not get the whole thing, but we're going to get some of that.
Right.
We're going to get some of that, which was cool though, because it's like, yo, that grew Kalamazoo. And, you know, from the stories and just, you know, my analysis of it, like, so we don't end up like certain cities where it's like you know, there's nothing there. So it revitalized Kalamazoo, but I didn't get it.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Still got a lot of love for every promised person in the building.
Because that my next question was if you had the Kalamazoo Promise, how would it have changed things for you?
Man, funding was big. Man, that's a tough question because, you know, you look at it like, man, like I would have did this. I rarely look back like that. Like I know everything happened strategically for it to happen.
Right.
So, you know, things can be where they are. But definitely financially, oh man, just the blessing that was or would have been, could have been. I probably wouldn't have stayed in Kalamazoo. I'd have came back still. Probably went to school at State or Michigan or even Eastern. And
You're just like, there's possibilities.
Yeah, open it up. I mean, but why not, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like going to a buffet. But again, exposure too. So I think it was amazing. It would have been amazing too to really, and I think every student, especially high school students, should do it. Go on a campus tour. You have to, because you have to be able to see yourself in that space and get up out of Kalamazoo and come back. Yeah. You know, this is home. It's not going to not be home for you unless everybody moves away, but you still can say you from here. You graduated from here. So get that exposure.
I hear a lot of people, they'll be here for school and then they'll go somewhere else and then eventually come back. Like once they're like, oh, we're going to have kids, we're going to start building a family, or like our family is here, so why are we living in Colorado or, you know, Arizona or where, I mean, it's nice in Arizona. My wife keeps telling me it's nice there, so eventually we're going to have to go. But that's a long time from now. But it's just one of those things, like lots of people will go and then they'll eventually be like, well, why not come back?
I think the speed that we have here, like, you know, our pace here is a lot different. You know, we are Midwest. It's not down south. And I've never lived down south. I lived out Southwest. But even in Arizona, it's like, it was a lot of partying out there, bro. It was a lot of partying, but it was a lot of networking too. Like the people I met in 2013, I'm still friends with to this day. We check on each other for holidays, send each other memes and everything like that. But I think to raise a family here in Kalamazoo, I mean, there's so much here, and you know, and it doesn't take much to travel anywhere. I mean, fly to Detroit, fly to Chicago, hop on a train, you can do a bus if you want to. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a good pace here. So,
okay, if you had a gold nugget of information that you would share with someone who would like to do the same work as you, what would it be?
Exposure is everything. Yeah, just put yourself in that area. You know what I mean? What was the old quote to say? If you hang around the barbershop long enough, you get a haircut. I ain't got no haircut. You get it. You get it.
I got you.
But yeah, I just exposure. I feel like you don't know what you don't know, and that's okay. And being okay with that, right? But just saying, like, I'm gonna at least put myself in a space where I can learn about it, or I can see it, or I can see what it's about. I think that's top tier, because it takes a lot out of a person to put themselves in a comfortable position like that too, right? I don't know what's going on. I don't know nobody. This is uncomfortable for me. But if I can see past those things, you make astronomical gains. So,
okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, yeah. I bring my phone out, because little do they know, I came prepared.
Oh, for real?
No, I don't.
Oh, you started looking through your phone for real. I was like, wait a minute.
No, but I do. I just want to, and we talked about it a little bit, and maybe you just reiterate it for the listeners and everything. But how did this come across? Like, how did you come up with this idea? Because I think it's beautiful. I think it's a blessing, and I want to say thank you for having me here, first and foremost. But like, how did this come to be?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's lack of cheesy words. It's people like you.
Oh.
No, but it was working here for over the past 2 years and meeting the people that I've met and seeing the work. My bad. My computer's going off. seeing the work that everybody's doing and having lived here since second grade and not knowing this stuff exists until I worked in a space where I was continuously exposed to all these different places, all these different people. I was like, oh, this is actually a nice place to live. Yeah. This is actually, there's a lot going on, and there's people who genuinely care about other people. Yeah. And, you know, the idea was, you know, Dr. John had his podcast, came to him, said, hey, we should do a podcast, you know, told him that spiel. Yeah. And he was like, well, why don't you just do it? I was like, what? and then, you know, what was it, like a week or two later, he left. Still hurt. I need to call him. Oh. Sorry, I haven't called you. But that's how it came about. But I mean, really, it's just it's not even part of it too. Was just like, oh, this is also like professional development for me. Oh, I've never hosted a podcast. I've never done this type of stuff before, but I was given the freedom and, you know, lifted and said, like, go ahead and do it. See how it goes. Yeah. And I feel like that's something that, like, here, at least like at the Promise, they're very supportive of, like, let's try it. Yeah. Let's see if it works. And if it does, let's keep doing it. If it doesn't, it's okay. So
I love that. I love that for you, bro. Like, no cap. Like, that is amazing that, you know what I'm saying, that you are encouraged to take new things. Like, I'm big on taking risks. I risk it for the biscuit all day, every day, bro. Like, why not? Like, the worst thing that's going to happen is it doesn't work out. Right. But then guess what? You do something else. Another quote, Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba. It's like, everybody want to be a champion. Don't nobody want to put in the work for it. So I love that. I love that for you, bro. And I honestly, this is my first podcast, and I'm like, yo, I didn't think I was prepared. I was like, yo, they got equipment, some microphone right by my lip, bro.
You got the voice for it too.
Thank you, brother.
That's why I had you read the quote.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
You the first person to read the quote,
man. Oh, blessing.
You got on the mic. I was like, oh, he's got to do it. Oh, he's the one.
I was talking to my peoples at work, and I was like, yo, I don't know what to expect. I was talking to the president. So one thing about Greenleaf Trust that I really, really, really like about. So I met with our president today, and we talked for like an hour, 15 minutes on a random, like, just, you know, checking in. But it's like everybody cares. And there's so many organizations out here that where people do care that we just don't hear enough about. Right. And so, you know, just to know whatever I do, they're like, yo, we support you. Just let us know what you need from us to make sure you prepare that. And then to even come in this space too and be welcomed. And, you know, I got a gift. I ain't gonna lie. I'm probably gonna throw that on later on today. I might go to Target. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this is beautiful. So, and I appreciate the setup. I think this is like super, super professional, and it's also not intimidating at the same time. So thank you, man. Like, this is dope.
Thank you. Thank you for the stuff you said. I'm also happy to hear like all the stuff that you got going on too. It's great to see people like us succeeding, you know, and I don't know. I appreciate it. What else? Okay. I mean, we're good on time. Okay, yeah. But I just have a couple quick questions. Yeah. How can people get involved with the work you're doing?
Okay.
Yeah, do that.
Bullet points, brother. All right. So get involved with the work. Okay. So two things. Check out our website, greenleaftrust.com. You can be a part of our wealth development program. This that is designed for students of color to get exposure into finance. That is every second Saturday of the month. You can reach out to myself.
What's your email?
Oh yeah, okay. So my email is, let's go a little closer. My email is cclay@greenleaftrust.com. Also, you have A Gomez at greenleaftrust.com. That's Alexia Gomez. Shouts out to her. That woman is amazing. Shouts out to Amari Smith, who really started the program with Jim. That woman is amazing. She put a lot of this stuff together and make it so much easier for me to run. And I helped her out my very first year working with the program. So just Black excellence all across the board. And then as far as the scholarship, all the Western students or students considering finance, there's a scholarship titled the Greenleaf Trust Scholarship that goes out to finance majors, personal finance majors, and accounting majors, to help you and also give you exposure to the finance field. It's really like a cohort. So it's not like your regular scholarship. You know what I mean? Like, we involve our scholars in on monthly meetings. We throw events for them. We celebrate them. And then we also share news about anything that's going on in the community where we hear people hiring. Just definitely being a resource to them. So shouts out to all my Greenleaf Trust scholars, all 20 of y'all. The scholarship was started in 1999, and we started with just one scholar. And then here we are 20-some odd years later where we have 20 scholars. It's an amazing program just to see over, I think like the count was like 117 people graduated, all in their respective careers in finance. Some at BlackRock, some one is at Deutsche Bank in New York. Just like made one at Google, one's at Microsoft. Like, we got some hitters out there. Like, I'm like, yo, y'all need to come back to Kalamazoo. Come holla at these young ones. You know what I mean? But yeah, so if you're interested in finance, we have the Greenleaf Trust Scholarship. That is also on our Greenleaf website. If you go to careers, and it'll say scholarships at the tab. So that's how you can get involved. My contact information is on the website. Please, even if you got a question, don't hesitate to reach out. That's one thing I'm really big on, is just talking to people like you met them at the grocery store. We don't have to have this ultra professional persona, because I'm a person just like everybody else, and I wear that all day, every day, because I can't take my skin off, and I wouldn't choose to either. So,
okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I appreciate it.
I'm gonna hang out around. I'm gonna go explore the building.
It's nice outside, man.
Cool. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. People need to hear it. And just thank you for being ready, confident, and knowing that you have everything that you need.
Oh, man, I appreciate y'all. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.